Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Shalom, salama, CME, shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world. Whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, I welcome you this morning. Sorry, family, I had to try some new things because I had spoken to my publicist, and yes, I have a publicist. See, when you reach over 4,000 subscribers, I didn't want to gloat or boast because, it's the Most High that gives you, where you're at. And so, she who shall not be named has been on me for a while to drive up viewers and everything else because it invariably it funds Quest Unite Africa and the great work that's happening on the continent. And Sister Corin, oh my goodness, yo. That typo literally just threw me out of my soliloquy, anecdote, introduction. Oh my goodness. I know what you mean. But yo. Oh, these comment sections. It was supposed to mean this. Yah sure does. And she put, Yah sure does. The devil's a liar. I know what you mean. Sister Corn. Hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. And so my publicist was saying, Brother Karras, we need more of that zazz, that pizzazz, that zest. Oh, the Kenny Rogers remake. She said that was great. It was bigly. She didn't really use those words. It was huge. She didn't really use those words. We need more of it. I'm sorry, Sister Corinne. Sister Corinne is a sweet sister of ours. She is awesome in terms of information that she gives up in the land of the maple syrup. I pray that Sister Corinne can visit our one brother that does the prepping to calm him down, to give him the word, to give him the good news that no matter what you try to do with your arm, it is the Most High that saves. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So I asked, how am I going to do that? How am I going to get that pizzazz, that zest? And I had to think about it. I said, I got it. I got a Gucci Mane remix. Instead of icy, zesty. Zesty, zesty, zesty. Ooh, CA, they like it. All subscribers excited. I'm so zesty. I said, no, I can't do that. I said, maybe I can do a 96 Keith Sweat remix. Just a touch of zest, a little bit, just a little bit for Covenant Awakening subscribers. Say them scriptures just a little bit. Oh, have to get all the nasally in me. I just rinsed my sinuses, so I can't really get all that nasal. Oh, just a little bit. I said, wait a second now. After all that, I said, let me hit him with some Jodeci. Covenant Awakened subscribers, I apologize to you. Subscribers, 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 subscribers. Let me hear you say yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me get a thumbs up in the shade, yeah. Yeah, so this morning my publicist and I were still at odds. I just said, you know what? Let us come and reason together. Because we're in a time that the Most High is moving and shaking. Sister Chantel, before I bring you on, to do your rendition of Return of the Mac, ah, oh, oh. And this ain't funny, so don't you dare laugh. Your slick Rick rendition. Please take off the eye patch, and you're gonna have to come on with a different browser as you get into your slick Rick isms. Knock him out the park, Rick. Knock him out, Rick. Doom, doom, doom. No, 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 no. Ugh. All right, here comes the echo. Return of the Chantel. There it is.
Can
Oh,
you hear me? Or is it,
you know.
is there an echo?
So I
Ah.
told, so I turned the mic to Chantel. There she goes, and I said, "Say them scripts, don't you know?" Oh, the Pope lied to me. I thought about what the Vatican said.
What?
The Vatican, they lied to me. Your citricity, your citric
Please
Christianity.
don't sing. Please don't sing, 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 sing.
I'm doing my best. My publicist said, "Kara, she got to get the pizzazz and zesty."
Here is
Oh,
the Union Jack. Here is the Union Jack. Here is the Union Jack. I
oh.
told you I'll be back.
So we got across the pond.
Oh, by the way, I just want to say, listen, I can't. There's something about Keith Sweat. I never liked his voice. It was like you had a perpetual cold. Bro, get some lens sip or something. It was like, I know that money. It was, oh my gosh, it was crazy. I love the songs he produces, but I didn't like listening to him sing. It made me feel like I needed to cough up some phlegm. Nobody. That was my son in the background.
Told you when that key sweat comes out, people over here lose their mind. Merry go round, you know. People
Oh
going
yeah.
yo, people are gonna try and break out their Casio and Yamaha that's been sitting in the closet for 2 decades. Let me see if these keyboards work. Somebody said Keith constipated. Oh my goodness.
Keith sounds like he needs some lemon, some ginger, and some honey boiled down, and he needs to just drink it. Just
Oh
smooth out the vocals.
man. Oh man.
Well, I can see what day this is going to turn out to be.
It's gonna be an awesome day because let me get you. Let me get us right with some scripture right here. Right here.
Oh,
Psalms 102. Psalms 102. Hear my prayer, O Yahuwah, and let my cry come unto thee. Hide not thy face from me in the day when I am in trouble. Incline thine ear unto me in the day when I call. Answer me speedily, for my days are consumed like smoke, and my bones are burned as in an hearth. My heart is smitten and withered like grass, so that I forget to eat my bread. By reason of the voice of my groaning, my bones cleave to my skin. I am like a pelican of the wilderness. I am like an owl of the desert. I watch and am a sparrow, alone upon the housetop. Mine eyes my enemies reproach me all the day long, and they that are mad against me are sworn against me. For I have eaten like ashes, for I have eaten ashes like bread, and mingled my drink with weeping, because of thine indignation and thy wrath, for thou hast lifted me up and cast me down. My days are like a shadow that declineth, and I am withered like grass. But thou, O Yahuwah, shalt endure forever, and thy remembrance unto all generations. Thou shalt arise and have mercy upon Zion, for the time to favor her, yea, the set time is come. For thy servants take pleasure in her stones, and favor the dust thereof. So the heathen shall fear the name of Yahuwah, and all the kings of the earth thy glory. when Yahuwah shall build upon Zion. He shall appear in his glory. He will regard the prayer of the destitute and not despise thy prayer. This shall be written for the generation to come. And the people which shall be created shall praise Yahuwah, for he had looked down from the height of his sanctuary from heaven. Did Yahuwah behold the earth to hear the groaning of the prisoner, to loose those that are appointed to death, to declare the name of Yahuwah in Zion, and his praise in Jerusalem. When the people are gathered together in the kingdoms to serve Yahuwah, he weakened my strength in the way. He shortened my days. I said, "O my Yahuwah, take me not away in the midst of my days. Thy years are throughout all generations. Of old hast thou laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thy hands. They shall perish, but thou shalt endure. Yea, all of them shall wax old like a garment. As a vesture shalt thou change them, and they shall be changed. But thou art the same, and thy years shall have no end. For the children of thy servants shall continue, and their seed shall be established before thee." Hallelujah. That was Psalms 102. Let me go ahead, bring in Brother Mike. Brother Mike, looks like you're all good with your browser. Hallelujah.
Yeah, how you doing, brother and sister?
So,
Yeah,
Brother Mike,
how
Hey,
you
Brother
doing?
Michael. How are you?
go ahead, Brother Mike.
Okay, how you doing? Hey,
Oh,
I was probing through YouTube yesterday, and the people that are fighting the war have a day of prayer. They got it. I forgot what day they had it. They got it set for. I'm like, wait a minute. I know we just did a day of prayer. Also, I have never known them to do this.
Copy,
That's just
copy,
me. I mean, it
copy.
could be. I mean, I don't know if it's. Yeah. I mean,
It's
it
not
made
just
me
you.
think that. All righty. All right. Okay. Okay. It made me think that they was listening. Hey, these people claim to be Israel. We need to get a day of prayer too. You know, we need sympathy. We need, while we doing what we're doing. And that's what I'm taking from them as to why they're doing what they are attempting to do. That's just my take on it. I was kind of shocked to see that. I was like, wow, ain't that some uh it would appear that things are kind of backfiring on them, but it appears that way. But it's like they still headstrong with it. That there's no stopping this. you know, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but
well, what did the
I was
scriptures
looking
say?
through the book of
Scriptures say
Obadiah, and I
Babylon
just
sits
can't get out
a
of that.
queen, right? Babylon sits a queen, and she shall not
Right.
see,
Yeah.
and her children shall not see an end. That's what the scriptures say, but they see their end approaching. So they're going to copy just as we copy. Look, Father, let your will be done. They're going to say, Father, they're going to say, God, O Moloch, O Rapham, O Babylon, O principalities of Babylon,
Oh,
please
Trump.
ensure a Trump, exactly. O idols that we worship, please allow for another 1,000 years. That's what they literally say. So it's funny because the Most High is not giving favor to them anymore. Because why? Because the purpose for them was to destroy us. And now that that purpose has been fulfilled, what are their prayers falling on? Well, it's falling on their lowercase Elohims that have no power. They have no power because right now we know that his
Yeah, it
face
would.
is towards his people.
Hmm. Yeah, seemed like Hashatan is scrambling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 'cause some of the stuff these people are doing, these so-called politicians, and if you look at them and you hear them, it's like, dude, are you for real? Are you listening to yourself? It's like they are in a world of confusion because now you have a person who has an invitation, a personal invitation to Yah's judgment hands position. So now it would appear that he is in scrambling. He's in a scrambling mode. And so now when he's in a scrambling mode, and this is his system, which we all know, this is his governing. Whatever stress you see upon the world, it comes from Hashatan. Whatever we feel, trust and believe, it's coming from him. Because this is his system, what he set up. And he always tried to mimic Yah. I mean, we black, he create white. Uh we the chosen. He got his chosen.
Mm-hmm.
You have man and woman. He go with man and man, woman and woman. That's him. He goes not in the same way, but try to do it opposite to destroy his people. He
He
know it can't
inverts
touch
things.
him. He know for a fact
It's
he cannot touch
inverted.
Yah.
That's what it is.
Say it
He
again for me,
copies
sis.
he copies everything that the Most High does, but he inverts it. That's why I said, if you remember a few weeks ago, and it's funny that Sister Gates Holder did the Pergamon, which is exactly what I was talking about, if you guys remember. And I
Mm-hmm.
said that just the same way we were at the foot of the mountain, Mount Sinai, and we received our ancestors, which is written into our DNA. It's like a covenant that's written in our code, in our DNA, right? Just the same way we are under that covenant, they are under the covenant of their God, which their ancestors sat at the throne of Satan at Pergamon. And like I said to you, the word Pergamon, it has so many. It means the high place. It also means a marriage. It's crazy when you start actually looking into it. It's very crazy. That's why I said a lot of these Gentiles, they have no idea. That's why it says we know who we worship. They don't know who they worship. They think they do.
Mm-hmm.
And there, you see, Zeus, that's exactly who Satan's, well, it's Satan's throne. It was dedicated to Zeus. He is nothing more than another version of Jesus Christ, or you know um of their God, which ultimately it's just Satan, 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 So it's like they need to repent, and it is a massive stronghold. It's like every time they think, they believe they've received truth, and they feel that, okay, so when we're worshiping Jesus Christ and everything, it actually turns out, no, you're still worshiping the devil. He's just changed his form. It's like waking up from a dream within a dream within a dream. It's trying to come out of the matrix only to discover you're in another level of a matrix. And it's like you're not going to be able to do this on your own, or seeking your interpretation, your understanding. To you have to you have to seek the scriptures, but you can't even interpret it yourself. This is why they cannot lean on their own interpretation. They need to really be listening to us. They shouldn't even be teaching the scriptures. They shouldn't, because they don't understand it. Until you can fully
Yeah.
understand who the people are, you will never understand who the people are, where the land is, And the fact that it's not a religion, when you have those three fundamental understandings locked in, then everything else will start to make sense. And you will see the obviousness of the lie that is being perpetrated across the world. And
Well,
then you'll also be able to come out of
You know,
the
no,
covenant. Sorry.
let me touch on
I see.
Chantel what you were saying
Go ahead.
there real quick, brother Mike. It's
Mhm.
like somebody that says, I'm gonna try and drown myself, right? You know, the funny thing is that you cannot really drown yourself unless you have something to assist you in drowning. Because if you try to stay under that water, what will end up happening is your blood flow, which is oxygenated, that blood will then cut off you being conscious, and you will unconsciously float to the top. You will unconsciously float to the top.
That's right.
So you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like they're, and even in order for them to do this, it goes against their nature. It goes against the concept of their natural bounds. This is why they can't tell the truth about anything, because it's a concept of a self-defeating action. And I'd say self-defeating in terms of being able to truly articulate the truth is the destruction of their understanding of reality, and they can't do it. So
Mm.
even as their reality is being destroyed, it's like, well, I can't say anything because maybe it will go away. And we're telling folks it's not going away. This is what the Most High's word says here. And read Jeremiah 51. Read 2nd Esdras, chapter 15. Read Baruch, chapter 2. Read all of these apocryphal or hidden,
Mhm.
hidden works, and read the word and see what was going on.
Karis, it's kind of like
You know,
it's kind of like, when you see that envelope of that bill and you don't want to open it, but
You
you
don't
know
want
you
to
gotta
open it.
open it.
Man, my account's gonna be hurting. Yeah, yeah. But
It's
you know,
you
at
exactly
open
the
it
that.
up
end
and
of the
find your
day,
divorce.
But if you don't open it,
Open
you
it up.
can't do anything about it.
hmm
You don't want to see it, but you know
Right.
you have to open it, but you put it to the like, I'll deal with it another day and another day and another day until it's too late. When you could have done, although it's hard, you could have had help to deal with it, but you chose not to. I know some of
hmm
us have kind of gone through that.
we've all
So
gone through it. Look,
yeah.
we're children of Jacob. We're hard headed. We all go through it.
But what I was wanting to go back on, Sister 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 Chantel. She was speaking about, they don't know who they, who they are, their God is. And then that's true. But the world, if you look at these movies, one thing I would tell you, if you can look at John Wick, you can look at even Fast and Furious, any type of spy movie, they're going to have Rome in the picture. Rome is going to be there.
hmm
It's going to be there. You look at any type of show, movie, even the what was this? This one, Mission Impossible. He in Rome, and they got to show their logo, the carpet,
Hmm.
a red carpet, a red
hmm
background. Have you ever noticed this stuff? They showing themselves a whole lot more than what they used to do. They're showing
It's the red
themselves,
shield.
and like
It's
this
the
brother
red
said,
shield and it's the red dragon.
God saying,
mm
he said, I am convinced that we are not dealing with humans at this point. And to a degree, I believe what this brother is saying. We are a bit different. When we're looking at people, we just call them humans because we're on the planet Earth. Like Don Peace said one time on Yacoba's show, Teo Ministry. He asked this question. He said, have you ever ran up on a Gentile and you shook their hand? Their hands felt kind of clammy wet. And I knew exactly what he was talking about. I said, yeah, I did that. And they just, I mean, out. But it's like we are exposing these people. And I don't think we realize we're doing it. And at the same time, they like, hey, I'm busting out. I'm coming out of the closet. And they're doing it. It's like, I mean, hey, no. And they're very firm about it. Oh, no, I worship the devil. They'll let you know like they're bona fide, down to earth. Hesitate.
Well, you know, Mike, good observation
to
on that,
fight for what
because think about all these Satan clubs, these after school Satan clubs that they're trying to pop out everywhere. That's here in the United States. It's crazy. It's unreal. Who would have thought who would have even thought 15 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago? Now all this stuff is
right.
happening because why? Because literally they've blown a gasket. They've lost their minds. And you have to understand,
I mean,
before destruction happens, before destruction happens, see what the Most High does in his infinite wisdom is that he has to have everything exposed. Because why? Because our Elohim is not a liar. So he has to show the truth.
Exactly.
And they have to disclose their heart.
But you know,
if not, yeah, go ahead.
I was also looking at that we're waking up. And it's not no small number to Hashatan. We're waking it up. So he gotta wake his people up too. Because he's looking at, oh no, these people are waking it up. Do you see? Yes. He got to wake his people up. He's seeing Yah has turned he has turned his attention to his people. I got to turn my attention to my people.
All right.
Well, he's
doing it. Exactly.
He's
doing
Mike,
this is come, let us reason together. So I would say, let's not have empty words. Let's bring the scriptures out. Right?
What?
And let's bring this on out.
You don't think he's waking his people?
This? No, but I want to say, look, we don't like to have empty words here. So I'm gonna put I'm just gonna go here. Zechariah 9:11. As for thee also by the blood of thy covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit, wherein there's no water. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. That's us. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man, and Yahuwah shall be seen over them. So if we get raised up, guess what? They're going to try to raise up too. That's what ends up happening.
You know something, Karis? They actually told us that in Star Wars. They literally said that in Star Wars, in the newer ones. I know it's rubbish and everything, but sometimes it's the crappiest ones that have the most esoteric and the most information in it, because they're banking on the people that banking on the fact that people watch it and be like, oh, this is rubbish. But it's, I think it was what's his name? Snoke said, as light rises, or as darkness rises, light rises to meet it. And it's so funny because it's like Star Wars is literally the epitome of the Bible. In fact, all sci-fi is the epitome of the Bible. They just take everything that's in the scriptures and just put it out there for our consumption. We watch it, we don't even realize what we're watching, but it's programming our brains so that when we actually see these events happening, it's our brain registers. But instead of us turning to the scriptures, we then turn to those who seem to be the leaders and the scientists and everything, because that's what they do in these films. They don't ever go to the scriptures, the ancient writings of the correct people, you know. So it's fascinating when you actually see. I love watching their movies. What's it, Dead Reckoning? Oh, that was brilliant. I thought it was good. The Mission Impossible film, like, wow. If you didn't realize what you're watching, it was like the entity was, it's not even AI, it's just Satan himself. You know, the power of the air and everything, control of everything, and is able to see so much through all these different computations and so on and so forth. But they tell you so much about everything, um, in their films, in their TV programs, everything, you know, so that they can bring about. It's kind of like their dark scriptures. That's what their media or their medium is, exactly that. Their dark scriptures, the grimoire, if you will. You know, so it's really weird, because like you grow up in church and they'll say, oh, you shouldn't watch those things, you shouldn't, you know, just come away from that. But if you don't know your enemy and how your enemy thinks, you know, the Bible says that we need to be as wise as serpents, but as
Humble as
uh,
doves.
exactly, you know. And it says that the wicked are wise and they know things, and it's like, how can you operate in this world without actually understanding who? First of all, you have to know that you have an enemy before you even know who your enemy is. Because for a long time we just went along, like, because Christianity made us believe that everyone loves everyone. And you know, we didn't even realize that we were hated before we actually realized that we were that they were our enemies. I mean, some of us are still operating under the assumption that, kumbaya, we can all love each other and everything. It's like, bro, we're in a war. Do you not
Mm.
feel that?
That's,
So
they try to pull us together. I mean, you know, we as black people, we have fought to be, and this is when we are, asleep. We just wanted to be equal and left alone. We wanted to be respected. Now the devil's seeing, all right, we got to use this their want against them.
Wait,
what just
oh, Mike,
happened?
Mike dropped off. Brother Asaph, we haven't heard from you. Go ahead, Brother Asaph.
Hello, shalom, uncle.
Because I know you BYOV. You brought your own verses.
Sh-
So here you go. Come on, Brother Asaph.
Shalom. I'm thinking of a verse in Isaiah,
Yes.
and also one in Jeremiah as well.
Okay.
Isaiah, I'll just paraphrase quickly. Isaiah chapter 13, verses 19 to 22, which speaks about the overthrow of Babylon and the end of Sodom and Gomorrah, which
Mm,
is akin to what is happening now, and also Jeremiah 50, 39 to 40, which points out that these countries are going to be left desolate and overthrown like Sodom and Gomorrah. And from an academic standpoint, sociologists have written, Diamond has written about the fall of societies, how destruction comes to them because of economic and political mismanagement, which is what is happening here. It's about money. It's about maintaining political power and dominance through the hegemony of religion. And as we can see, what's happening now is that the fight is on to maintain the people that are not a people, and to maintain that hegemony through Christianity. And some of the top black leaders that we have, I'll call him out, like TD Fakes. Has doubled down on his position, and a lot of the black church leaders who are prominent, and our people have gone along with it. I was passing a church some time ago, a few days ago, and someone asked me what my opinion was on this, and I said I can't really comment too much on it, but the Bible gives us some nice verses in Zechariah chapter 2 verses 4, Zechariah 9 and verse 5, and Amos 1, 6 and 7, which says that place over there is being destroyed, the first target for what they did to us. And the person said, "Oh, I've never seen that place. I didn't know that Gaza existed in the Bible." So, our people are walking blind. As long as they have the doctrine standing up, and they fool them that their identity is in Caesarea Borgia, they will continue to maintain their present position. But I was speaking to a friend of mine over the weekend whose father's a prominent pastor in one of the Pentecostal churches that just passed away. And he said, and I was speaking to his father as well. We used to have conversations, but when I said that Hamashiach doesn't look like Caesarea Borgia, we got cut off. And before he passed, his son, who is also a pastor, who's left the church, said that his father was starting to question his faith. And a lot of our older elders are going to pass away, because if what's coming will make them leave, abandon the Bible completely, because the prophecies are not working and running the way that they're supposed to run. I know I've rambled on a bit.
No, absolutely. Because, with me, I look at that and I see Daniel. And when I was looking at this is Daniel chapter 8, where the Most High is sending Gabriel to Daniel, and was speaking to him in the parables. And he said, "Look, the ram which thou sawest," this is Daniel chapter 8, verse 20. Now let me go back to here. Daniel 8, verse 19. And he said, "Behold, I'll make thee know what shall be in the end, or in the last end of the indignation, for a time appointed the end shall be." And this end is the end of our captivity, of the captivity of Judah and Israel. "The ram which thou sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, wherefore stood up for it 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, when the transgressors have come to the full, because why? Look, they're letting everything out. They're letting everything out of the bag, right? They're not holding back. There was a time that, we could try to have some semblance of righteousness, but that's
You,
not
you,
even being held back. So now they're at the time where everything is, well, I don't care.
Karis, I just wanted to add to that. It's literally talking about the what you just said. It's also the fullness of the cup in Revelation as
Oh, the
well.
wrath.
The
Yep.
right, the cup that Babylon is about to drink. It's actually
Hmm.
we drank it all, and it's almost like the Most High. Well, they are actually filling it up, and they're about to drink it. So it's. I just wanted to point out the similarities, or how that reflects with this one as well.
Yeah. So let me finish this, because this is really some good meat here in Daniel chapter 8. It says, "And in the latter time," this is verse 23, "and in the latter time of their kingdom, when transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up." What do we have? We always have what? Folks that try to say things, but they don't mean it. So dark sentences to me is lies, untruths. And his power shall be mighty, and not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. Well, that's us. And through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and that's them. Look, their hearts are just hardened. it's like the sickle is right for this harvest, and this place is about to get harvested. I'm just saying. And by peace shall destroy many, which is what they do all the time, right? Peacekeeping forces. Let's keep this all into perspective. We need to bring democracy because that brings peace.
Bring out the peacemaker.
The peace, exactly. The peacemaker, exactly.
500 treaties with the Native Americans, which they never kept one.
Here's this one. He shall also stand up against the Prince of Princes. So they're actually standing up against Yahusha himself, which is what they do actively.
Mm-hmm.
They do that actively. Don't think that this doesn't come about. Don't think that there's a struggle. This is why I ask for donations every single day. It's a struggle. Because this is the policy and the craft that's been allowed to prosper. Let's see, Mike, if you can come through without echoes. No,
You hear me, Carrots?
Yeah, you're not echoing. All right, you're good. Now let me finish this on up. But he shall be broken without hand. What does this say? Psalms 88 and 25 continued. But he shall be broken. This kingdom's about to be broken without hand. And the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true. Wherefore shut up the vision, for it shall be for many days. And now we're at the end of those many days. Those many days of what? Of our captivity. Of our scattering. And we're seeing it right now. Look. All we know is we just have to give the Most High praise and glory and honor because we're seeing his work come together. So what they want us to do is get involved. Let us know your opinion. I'm not letting you know anything. My opinion is the Most High still on his throne. What is that supposed to mean? The Most High still on his throne, and his word is going to come true. What did Joshua see when he saw the angels? They said, "Who are you for?" He said, "We're not for or against, but we are with the armies of Yasharel. We're for Yahuwah." That's it. Who are we for? We're for Yahuwah. Through his son, Yahushua HaMashiach. This world is going to run the course that the Most High said it was going to run. Plain and simple. It was going to do everything that the Most High's word said it would accomplish. And that's all we have to do. That's all we have to see. Well, you need to do something else. No, we don't. Does his word say that? See, this is the greatest chess move that the Most High has already given us. It's like that Brewster's Millions movie. Right? Don't vote.
Well, you had to go there, didn't
I
you?
had to go Brewster's Millions.
Well, now what happened, man? Because the last thing I said was a bruising in the heel and all that, and my screen just went white.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know what's going on there in Chicago. They got look, Chicago
But have
be
you
a problem
noticed?
area.
Have you
ahead.
noticed?
Mhm.
Have you noticed that as things progress, the level of hate is ramping up against us, as well as the level of which people want us to take sides in this is also ramping up as well. Did you see what Mike Rappaport said about African Americans?
Oh, that man has a snake tongue.
And
I
he's
saw
married
that.
to a black woman.
I know. That's
Hey,
I mean,
Tell
let's
us
not
tell us how you really feel.
let's not
You know,
forget if it wasn't
you
for an
black
African
tar
American,
blood people.
if
Like,
it
woo.
if it wasn't for John Singleton, Mike Rappaport would be a nobody. That's how
Boom.
he got on, was through John Singleton,
Yep.
higher learning.
Higher
If it wasn't
learning.
for him, Mike Rappaport would be probably somewhere in some bathhouse, getting it how he lives
oh,
like that. I'm sorry.
Rojo, to
calling
be
them
fair,
redhead.
if he wasn't screaming and shouting, who knows him? Who would like what has he done lately? For real. What has he done lately? He's only saying and starting to pipe up because he needs to feel relevant. Like, to be honest with you, I don't
Wait,
know how that sis can just even stand him. Like, how are you how oh
What
my
did you
god,
say,
he
Chantel?
looks like, do you know what he looks like? He looks like, you know, that bloated fish that when you
No,
bring it out of
Chantel,
the ocean, yeah.
what was that word you said? Pipe up.
I started it now.
I'm sorry,
no.
Chantel.
Pipe up. That's right.
No, I'm gonna tell you
Pipe
something
up.
about this cat. I'm gonna tell you something about this cat. See, you can't blame him. You gotta blame us because he came in on the soul side. He was always like in movies, pretty much. You know, hey, I'm all going white. I'm still street. Now he coming
God,
off. He
what?
came off like that, and he been around for a moment. Now Kanye says something that he don't like. And he said, and now he's the one he claimed that he is ish, right? Didn't he say he was ish?
No, I
Yes,
think
he
he
is.
is though. I
He
think
He
is.
is.
Yeah,
he,
he
he,
is.
he he's
Yeah,
a piece of garbage.
yeah,
I'm sorry to say it like that, but
Mhm.
he is.
Don't be
Yeah.
sorry.
but I understand what you're saying. But we put him in that position. We did.
Yes, we
Mm-hmm.
do.
We
We
you
always
know
do.
he came in. Yes, we put him in there, and he came and talking about one. Well, there was one movie. No, it was an episode, and he said, and he was like, "Where's the collard greens at?"
I
And
got to read something after you said that. I got to read something. So
go ahead, sis.
continue. But I got to read. No. Finish what you're saying. But I got to read something straight afterward because it's literally. Go on. Finish.
There was
Finish
this
what you say.
show he was in, and so these people they were trying to show off, show this. He was like an investor, and so they was like trying to be more appealing to a Gentile. They want to show that hey, we live like Gentiles, and it was a black family. And so, but what happened? They did not realize that he was on more so the soul side, and so they were cooking all the dish and everything. They had some they had this dish and it was supposed to made with mayonnaise because you know black people don't too much mess with mayonnaise. And so he was kind of shocked. He said, "Where's the macaroni, the collard greens?" And they looking at him like, "Who is this?" And so once they broke the ice or whatever, embraced him with open arms. And that's what we did this stuff in the TV shows, in the movies, in music. We did this stuff. We invited these people, and now they come out, but they showing their true colors though. They're showing their true colors,
Yeah,
without any
it's
type of research.
that's right.
I'm
Because
sorry.
yesterday, Anne Shapiro said that African Americans are not ready for reparations, and she invoked Martin Luther King. Did you
Well,
see
hey,
that
I'm
one as
sorry.
well?
well, brother Martin Luther
Everybody,
King said that he was ready for reparations. He said that we're
That's
going
right.
down to get our check.
But Anne
But
you know what?
Shapiro,
Let me tell you something.
you saw what Anne Shapiro said.
No, I didn't see it, but I'm
Oh,
just
oh
listening
no,
to
I
you
didn't see
saying
that. I didn't see that, brother.
Yeah, she said
everybody can
that
speak about
African.
what black people is not ready for.
Yeah,
That's the
she
thing that
said
kills me.
she is she is the cousin of one of your congressmen, second cousin of one of your congressmen, according to my research. And she's saying that African Americans are not ready for reparations yet, like she's got some kind of control over it, which is absolutely ludicrous. But in Jamaica we have a saying that fire is at the musmus tail and think a cool breeze. Sister, sister, my sister will interpret that for you in a
I
lovely
ain't
English
going to.
accent.
I will not. I will not. I don't know how to interpret that in a lovely English accent.
Look,
Yeah.
look,
So
No,
let me tell you something.
but
And this is nothing against our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. So don't y'all not the hit dog. So please don't holler. But this is for those Mayo people who come
yeah,
in seeing us using cornmeal and making what
yes,
looks like pancakes. If they call it
yeah,
pancakes, they're not invited to the picnic because it's not pancakes. It's hot water cornbread. But see,
yeah,
we'll let our brothers in the diaspora know that, because I'm gonna tell
yeah,
you, for me personally, if we get our reparations first, I'm gonna tell you before I go to Africa, I'm gonna make a stop in Britain and share some of my wealth with some of y'all out there, because I already know who to look for out there. Because I love
yeah.
y'all out there in the UK. Y'all are some riders.
What?
We're
Listen, no,
going to
you
Brother,
ain't coming to.
Brixton,
No,
we're
Roger.
going to
Don't
the
come to
Brixton,
share wealth. Come. So what we can do we can do a job up in the British Museum, certain
yeah,
Oh,
places,
she
right?
wants that. She wants that Killmonger mask. She wants
That's right.
that Killmonger mask.
That's
yeah.
right. Then we
This is
start
my
sharing the wealth.
reasoning.
We getting our vibranium back, yo. We getting our vibranium back.
That's
For
right.
sure, for sure.
the thing about
Everything
Once
they
it,
stole.
once the Americans get
the thing about it
reparations, the
is,
British won't be able to stop us from having our reparations as well, Rojo, because the pressure will
yeah,
Uh,
be
I kind
on
of figured that.
the. Yeah, so all you need to do is sit back and wait for us. But everybody is saying that. I used to say that America has to move first before everybody else
yeah.
moves.
You
And
cough,
then
Yeah,
you sneeze,
uh,
and everybody else catch
everybody
it.
catches flu. Yeah, that's right. And that's
but
exactly what's going to happen. You're going to find
I mean,
you're going to find guys with blonde hair and blue eyes saying, I've got 1% African DNA. I need my reparations too.
Listen,
hey,
everybody
hey,
say
hey,
something
brother,
like that. I'll be like,
hey,
listen, with your blue eyes, the only bit of melanin you got is in your pupil. Go sit down.
hey, Seth, you
everybody,
said that you say you're gonna catch the white dudes with blonde hair, blue eyes, walking around here sucking on a neck bone, eating
Yeah,
collard greens with fat back. That's not
no,
us.
yeah.
but the thing about it, the thing about it
We'll
is
do
this,
we'll
though,
we'll do what's
is
called the
that
sun test.
the thing is that we are built different. We are more so on the human side. We have sympathy for people, but that sympathy
Mm.
at times is misplaced because when
Exactly.
I mean, and I'm not saying do not um, deal with people. I'm not saying that, but we have seen when we bring people in, because you still got to remember one thing: Satan has his people, and some of his people are treated just like us. And when we see them being treated worse than us, what do? Our hearts go out to them. Did
Yes,
not
we do.
we, when every other race got in trouble, who was the first people to stand up with them? That was us. We was the first ones. When the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, and now we just have immigrants going to the South Side. You see black people out there feeding these people. And I'm talking about pulling over in their cars. I'm not saying that we should not help or invite, but I am going to say this. proceed with caution. Proceed with caution. Because we have done this for hundreds of years. Have you seen you remember this movie? What's the it was based out of Florida. It was a true story. And Karis, I think you may know what I'm talking about. It was based out of Florida. Esther Rose was in it.
Yeah.
Rosewood.
Movie?
Rosewood.
Rosewood.
Yeah.
I have pictures. I
Now,
have pictures. I was going up there. Rosewood's actually about how many miles? It's about 50 miles from my mom's house. It's literally just southwest of Gainesville. So I've gone up there a couple times. Yeah, and really the survivors and the remnants of Rosewood for the white folks, they moved over to a town. It's called Cedar Key. That's Cedar Key, Florida. The all the other folks they either went to Gainesville or Jacksonville or down to Orlando. So Gainesville is very interesting because that's literally the only massacre in Florida that they've acknowledged, but actually there's about I believe, don't quote me on this, there's about around a dozen massacres that have taken place in Florida. Prominent ones are like Ocoee. There's some that took place within St. Pete. One took place in Tampa. Yes, there was.
Well, yeah, this is your area, South Tampa, Brother Karis.
Yeah, some had taken place more in like interior areas, like don't quote me on it, but there's around a dozen massacres. It's just that Rosewood was the most prominent. Rosewood was
and the reason why I say Rosewood. And the reason why I said Rosewood, now do you remember the scene where the Mason guy who really beat up the girl, he went to this black guy and he threw up a hand signal, and the black guy, he was also Mason. But his father told him, or I think his father, don't have nothing to do with this man. Don't have nothing to do with him. He said, but you know the oath and all that stuff. And they helped him. What did it cost them? They hung him from a tree because the dogs came over there, started sniffing around. Boom. They was on a hiatus. They was looking for a black man to hang because a nigga did this to me. What? And it got started from there. And so, I'm just saying this, and I'm not being prejudiced. I am pro-Negro, and I don't mind helping. We're awakening up. Hashatan and his people are awakening up to more evil, period. We just have to be more cautious. We have to be more cautious.
No, Mike,
it can be. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut in on you, Mike. You can finish, but I just have to say I can't watch that movie again because that movie was all the white folks being on code. They all knew what kind of woman she was, but they didn't care. They just looked for an excuse to start killing niggas, start killing black people. Because you could tell at the end when they were hanging the character things, they started arguing about shit.
But Rojo, think about this, and I want you all to really understand the movie and the significance of the value of the movie. When did they stop massacring our people? You want to know when they stopped? It was when the National Guard got involved and got called in, and it was when they had a levy that they had to pay for the National Guard to be called in. You now think about this and take this to account. And this is why when I had said this yesterday, but I want to really now have an understanding of why they're getting mad. that the UN is essentially invading.
What? Wait a minute. Who
Be,
invade?
a UN is essentially invading. You know, when they're having their folks crossing the borders and everything else.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Because why? Because they have to stop a ongoing genocide that's been happening to us. That's under the guise. See, what a lot of people don't understand is with the UN Human Rights Commission, America's still not back in the Human Rights Commission.
Wow, Karis, I didn't see it like that. Thank you, bro.
America's still
Dang.
not back in the Human Rights Commission because what? They get torn up. One of the very first things that was placed on out there in the Human Rights Commission is a whole lot different than the Security Council or the General Assembly. The General Assembly has already called for America to pay reparations. Yes, they have. The Human Rights Commission has already called for America to pay reparations and give us a protective class. Yes, they have. However, they've never done that. And guess what? It's gotten worse. So, see, you have to understand when they're like, oh, we're being invaded by the border. I'm like, yeah, you probably are. More than likely, you probably are. Because why? Because, hey, we'll let you do what you need to do because, yeah, everybody's economy is tied into this nation. But it's going to be that one of those fly by night type of things that, oh, hey, all of a sudden, due to this and this and this, we now have to do this, this, and this by order of this particular thing. They'll give you all of the secret orders that have happened over the last 4 or 5 years. That's literally what they'll do. Oh, that actually happened? Go ahead and Google that right now. Go ahead and Google Human Rights Commission's actions against the United States. You'll see it. Every time they have a testimony, they had a testimony with what? Trayvon Martin's parents. They had a testimony with what? George Floyd's parents or family. And see, when we say, oh, yeah, nothing's going to ever happen, see, you don't understand that. Yeah, I do believe it. But I do believe this. I believe that those actions that you see, we'll never see it.
Hey, Brother Karis.
Because if you see it, then guess what? They'll see it. And if they see it, then guess what? They'll get mad. They'll get angry. What's it? How do you kill a beehive? Do you know how you kill a beehive? You don't take fire to the beehive first.
Smoke.
You have to put smoke to it. You have to get the bees disoriented. So when the bees get disoriented, all they know how to do is go back to their couches. Go back in front of the TV. And then you could put fire to that beehive. But all they're going to do is focus on the smoke, and then they get burnt up with the fire. I'm just telling you, family.
Hey, Karis, did you see what they're trying to do? The Asians are trying to do with us, with black people, with FBA, Judah.
No.
There's a lady in San Francisco who was calling out Chi Chi P for whatever he's doing out there. And they're calling themselves getting mad at black people for not stepping on board with what her call is, saying that everything she itemized runs in concert and coordination with what we went through in slavery, while we just sitting there letting this poor woman go through this by herself, risking making Chi Chi P angry and doing something to her. Well, that's not our problem.
Well, but you understand now. They understand what's happening. Look, somebody had said it best. Our non-awakened Israelite prepper that's over on the northern that's in the country that borders
The sticky
north of this
dude,
place.
the sticky prepper.
Yeah, it's
You know,
legendary, isn't it?
he said it right. You know, he said it right. That's why I do I do give credit on this, and he said it right. He said, "Listen, remember when Putin and Biden they met 6 months later? There was what the Ukraine war, the Russia-Ukraine war. What's going on here? What she supposedly is meeting? Is she meeting? I don't know. It may be one of their advisors. Who knows? Meeting, get the handshake. Is that a 4 or 5 month signal? Because what do they plan on doing? Well, you have to continue to have smoke. And that smoke is raised in what? Other areas of the world. So when this thing is on fire, well, nobody's going to really notice. Hey, how do we liquidate this corporation? We need our money out. How do we do a chapter 11? How do we reorg? See, to me, it's not the fact that Babylon here, that our captors here are going to just all of a sudden disappear and they're just going to blow through. And, it's going to be a Thanos moment where, the Most High snaps his fingers and, it wipes away the population. No, no, they're going to be subdued. They're going to be captive. And the same thing that you've seen in post World War II Germany, the same thing that you've seen in all of these once, great nations. Well, guess what? They're going to be levied to death, levied and taxed to death. Hey, we had to fix your nation, so now you have to pay. And they'll define it for some cute words, you know, um, principal interest on, inequality, inequitable standards, yada 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 yada. They'll say, the UN treaty for, equitable, blah blah blah. We already know how it's going to be, and then America's going to be like, why are we signing the treaty? What even happened? You see what I'm saying? What happened?
Yeah, but
Um,
what are they going to pay with? They have
that's the
nothing.
question. Oh,
We
that's
know
the
how they're going to
question.
pay with. I
That
think
is where
Europe is
Joel
going to be
3 comes to play, and it's going to come to
exactly.
bear. Yes.
I feel
Well,
like Europe is just going to be the land of factories, and they're going
bingo.
to pretty it up with exactly what Jacoba was showing. With their little pods, their rejuvenation pods and everything. Now they're
Hmm.
just rejuvenating you to just, if you lose a limb on the job, you get that, you can grow that limb. Do you guys remember
Wait, 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 wait.
Heroes?
Wait, wait, wait. No, 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 no. Before we go on in there, Sister Chantel. Jason X.
My
You know what
God.
I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? You get orgified and you get a metal limb. So by the time you can't even die, because why? Because you just become Borgified every single incident.
Now, see, now you're talking about Hellraiser when they went out of space too, along with Jason from Friday the 13th.
That
God,
film, man. Come on, man. That
They'll be
film,
what? They'll be what? Seeking death, but will never find
don't
it.
find it.
I mean that to me, man, that's worse than death.
now I'm gonna tell you, I think Ybor City your little city out there, South Tampa, is a model of what they want blacks to be like in America. I think because they're not doing anything in Ybor City. They're not bringing cops down there. They're not doing nothing down there. So,
Because let me tell you the dynamics of Ybor City, Brother Rojo. There ain't no black folks in Ybor City. There's no black folks in Ybor City. All the black folks are in East Tampa, which is above MLK, which is above Hillsborough Avenue. Ybor City is like literally Columbus. Columbus is like a block and then down into the Channel Side area, Adamo Drive. And that's like it's like 1 mile by like 5 mile strip. It's a 1 mile by 5 mile strip at the most. The black people don't live there. It's gentrified out.
Mm.
So when you say that there's no police, no, of course there's no police because it's gentrified out. All the police are north in East Tampa.
oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
wow.
I had to give you a little bit of a Tampa civics lesson.
But isn't that exactly what's happening now? Is that where there's no black people, you find that it's literally Gentile on Gentile crime.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally just saw the pew pew man who just killed off. Who just
Deleted. We say deleted. Now you look. I gotta be careful with these channels.
I'm sorry. it just fell out. Yeah, they just sort of sent them somewhere in the on the loading. That loading yeah, they he sent them, I think it was 13 people, and I remember there was a father and a son, a little boy and everything. But the thing is, you don't have any laws, any you're not trying to stop people from walking around with their pew pew machines in these areas, and you have a very relaxed police service to the point where it's now your own people. You can't use the excuse of, oh, it's those people. No, it's you. It's always been you.
Well, you got to remember now. You have to understand what the Most High's doing. He is showing the double standard in policing. You can't have a nation where it's one set of policing standards for one people and it's another set of policing standards for the other folks. I'm literally in the middle of writing I'm literally in the middle of writing a paper, and it's on core values. And what I do as a doctoral student, as a academic scholar, I do my best to throw as much shade as I can in a highly contextualized, intellectualized manner.
Everybody, I just want you to know that we have on our hands Dark Karis.
And Doc Asif. Don't let Doc Asif fool you.
No,
We got some doctoral students, some doctors on in here.
See,
Check
I might say me and Rojo are Rojo, I'm starting to see a pattern here. We might be we're very open and we say what we say, and sometimes we get kind of, a little nugging on our head and everything. But it's the ones that are quiet, it's the backstagers, it's the ones that like, stop it. When they're the ones that are they're the ones that kind of work behind the scenes. They're the ones, they won't say much. They'll write it down and they'll instruct you.
no, but Sister Chantel, check this out. See, Karis, he's in an enviable and non-enviable position. See, right now, Karis is down there. People like him are down there in Florida catching all the heat. But Chantel, if you like study American history, you look up 1811. Brothers down there in Florida had white folks scared as hell. Brothers down there in Florida had white folks urinating and defecating in their pants because of the Maroons down there.
Well, so that's actually interesting. That's actually an interesting topic too, because you have the Great Dismal Swamp. The Great Dismal Swamp is actually located in near Suffolk, Virginia. It actually goes all the way down into parts of Northern Carolina. You actually had for a long time, you had a commodity or a commerce where white folks were actually working with black people hand in hand. They couldn't catch them, but what they wanted was they wanted the minerals from the swamp because the swamp had a lot of good phosphate and they had a lot of good trees and logs and things of that nature. If you have like Paramount Plus, they have the National Geographic channel, and there is a documentary on the Great Dismal Swamp. A lot of folks weren't just running to the north, believe it or not. A lot of folks, when they would run away, man, they run to the swamps. That's why in Georgia, a lot of runaways didn't say, I'm just going to catch that freedom train up north. No, they'd run to the swamps.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, they'd be on out in the swamps for a while. Right after the Civil War, the Great Dismal Swamp, people heard about it because why? Because they were always interacting with each other. They were always interacting with each other, and they're just like, all right, whatever. I'm not going to chase you because I'm making money anyway, whether you're free or not. I'm making money anyway. You're bringing in this wood, this because the petrified wood was actually a very good wood. It was a very good quality. So they were just bringing the wood. Hey, okay. Oh, such and such a slave is down there. All right, well, we'll just trade with him, and he'll buy himself off. That's literally how it was.
Wasn't that like the where the Maroons were?
No, the Maroons were more down in Florida, but the Maroons, I mean, like they're Cimarrones. Cimarrones was literally just the it was a Spanish
Runaway.
word for runaways, for
Runaway
slaves. So when they say
slaves.
like Seminole tribe, it was like, I'm part of a Seminole tribe. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just slave tribe.
it's a slave
A
tribe, and you
tribe.
just and then you just incorporated yourself with Native Americans.
Sounds like Chantel and her bog people up there in England where she's at. I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah. So the
same.
swamps are still very good for a lot of phosphate. And phosphate is used for fertilizers.
Phosphate carriers.
Yeah, phosphate's used for
Yeah, you could
fertilizer.
use it for
But
something else as
you could
well.
also
So
use it for mass deletions. So
yeah,
you have to be
boom,
careful.
boom, boom.
Yeah, so you have to be careful with it. Yeah.
When you said phosphates at first, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's nitrogen rich. So the more
Mm.
that you concentrate it, because the nitrogen is really the pellets for, any type of farming. If you farm, you're right, you put the nitrogen in the soil so the roots can get to that nitrogen. That's part of, why you have dung and manure and all this other stuff that helps with the fertilization process because it is a nitrogen process that then goes into the soil.
You
So
know that's why there's no black farmers, right?
Hey, Karen, is alligator
They don't trust you with it. They're too scared. They're like, no, we can't. It's a cover. It's a cover story.
alligator alley where the Maroons used to kill the Mayo people, and to hide the bodies, they throw them to the alligators, cut them up, and just let the alligators take them down into the canal and eat them.
well, yeah, but you want to know what? I mean, I wouldn't doubt that that's still happening here. I mean, you want to know how many folks go missing here in Florida? A lot.
I know, but it's mainly black folks that do that though, and I don't like that. I mean, black folks go missing down in Florida, like
A lot.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot. And they don't even hardly report any of those missing. Unless the family has somebody that they know in government or an attorney or
And
it truly is sad.
the Haitians get on my nerves, but they are people. I love them, but
Hey.
Hey, I said I love y'all, don't you?
I'm not Haitian, but I gotta speak up for Sister New being me. Come on now, she ain't here. She's Haitian, and she wouldn't like what you're saying. What have
No,
they done anyway?
hey,
You
but I
know,
said,
it's just sibling rivalry, and we're just gonna be fighting over silliness. That's just how family is, anyway.
yeah, it's Judah and Ephraim vexing each other. Even though I think that everyone on the western side that's black is Judah, but we do have this level of competition with each other. I mean, we're all southern tribe. I don't know if I'm from the tribe of Judah specifically, but yes, we are all of the kingdom of Judah. We're all southern kingdom. So, but
Mm.
like I said,
I
some
mean,
of Ephraim.
from a scriptural standpoint, the scripture said Judah was the one that went into slavery. So, I mean, I just leave it at that because I mean, you had some brothers going back and forth talking about the 10 tribes all went into America and all that, and then the scripture,
Oh
the scripture says
gosh, not that.
that.
Well, if you actually look
Well,
at if you look at Benaiah Israel, and I'd suggest that people look at Benaiah Israel, there's a lot of good information in terms of what they were actually targeting and who they were targeting. Don't think that they were. See, we have the context from them that, oh, we're just getting every black person that we could find and yada yada and go
yeah,
from there. The problem was is that actually that's incorrect. They knew who they were
it was
targeting.
orchestrated.
And that's
Mm.
why when you
Yes.
had what like the White Lion or something that went to Point Comfort, this is why the English knew, oh, snap, the Dutch are trying to take these folks and we need to bring them over here because that cargo there, that's what they treated us as. That cargo there, man, those are those folks that were interior that they started. They knew who they were.
But those are
They knew
my
who we were.
slaves. You take
Yeah.
everything that belongs to me. This is just not fair. I
Yeah.
hate you, Dutch. I hate you. It's just not fair. Give us back our slaves.
Yeah, so they understood that in the triangular channel. So then for those that would then come through to America, okay, now we need to move them on over to the UK. So that was going on for at least 2 centuries. That's why you have Oleana Aquino when he wrote his book. They knew about their customs,
Mm-hmm.
and he was actually at 11 years old, understood the customs. And then you did what? Then you killed all the folks that were basically, 20s or higher.
Mm.
Because why? Because that is a resource of education and information. And then that's where you then are cutting people off from heritage and knowledge and understanding. But for us, inherently, we're just naturally curious on anything and everything. So we'll put things together, and that's what they do not like. They didn't like the Stephen Urkels, so that's why they demonized the Stephen Urkels. And
It,
yeah,
it's it's.
brother
Oh,
Asaph
sorry, go ahead.
he's showing in the
What
picture.
are you holding up? What book is that he's holding up? What book is that? What book is that, bro?
You're on mute.
You
Who's
on
that?
mute?
Who's that? Equiano.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not
I've
All right,
got that
it
book as
says,
Equiano.
all
well.
right, it
It's a
says,
good book.
It's
Hey,
a
look,
parliamentary report which shows that the British ordered this, which specific tribes they British ordered slaves from, and the fact that they supplied the money for the guns and the gunpowder in this parliamentary report. I got it. So anybody that wants to gaslight us about it, I've got the original facsimile of the
Oh.
parliamentary report, which shows that they ordered which specific tribes they went for. Yeah, it's not clear on my computer. And which ones they ordered.
hey, brother, hey,
Yes, bro.
I got to ask you a question, and don't take
Yeah.
it. I'm not saying anything about y'all over there. I'm just asking, are y'all, because a lot of y'all over there are Jamaican or Nigerian,
Yeah.
are y'all over there like taking a strong stance like those Arabs over there, like just trying to like claim? I know there are a couple of Israelite camps out there that are doing that, but are the rest of
Yeah.
the black community out there? Um, galvanizing and taking that same stance out there, or what's going on out there? Because I'm trying to
Not that
follow.
what I see.
Not what I see. No, we
Yeah,
are we are
brother,
standing back and
brother Asaph, I'm gonna ask you
yes,
this: if you can take a picture and put that in the Teo Ministries live chat,
yeah, I will do.
and
I
also
will
we
do.
have a Quest to Unite Africa group page. If you can post on both, that would be phenomenal, because
Yeah, I
now
will.
you
Yeah, I
understand.
will.
See, a lot of things that happened pre Constitution is wrapped up in where the UK. So so they'll tell you, well, it's before the United States, so it has no credence. Well, who was in control before the United States? That was the UK. So you
You're still
understand,
owned
You
by
know,
the
Yeah,
crown as
this
well, to be
yeah, we're
honest.
and technically, yes, we
we
are still owned by the crown. And guess who owns the crown technically? I just said it earlier.
Look,
Oh,
yeah
oh, well,
yeah.
Rome owns the crown.
wrong.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
That's
but
right.
yeah, wrong.
Marcus
Hang
Garvey,
on
was
one
Wrong,
second.
brother. Brother, where do you get the book from? Somebody
The
in the chat
book.
is asking where you buy it from. Yeah.
Um, I got this book some years ago. I forgot where I got it from, but it's not. It's a parliamentary report
mm,
from the British Parliament. It's a facsimile, and it's the report was between 1790 and 1791,
ooh,
but it reviewed the whole of the slave trade
mm,
and who which tribes the British bought slaves from. Actually, they funded the Neolithic tribes, the ones that worship on the sixth day of the week, to go out and capture us because they had problems going into the interior.
yes.
no, but brother Asaph,
Mm.
I'm just trying to see if there's someone that's carrying on Marcus Mosiah Garvey's legacy out there. I mean, as far as amongst the black folks out there.
Well, the Pan African movement is not as big as the United States, and another problem that we've got here is that everything is heavily suppressed, whether you believe it or not. There are
Oh
groups,
yes.
but it's not as big as the United States. And Israel awoken Israelite are not as many as the United States in terms of percentage either, because the church has such a strong hold
hmm
over the populace here. Most professionals who have advanced degrees and are educated, most of them are in some sort of apostolic, Pentecostal, or Baptist
Hmm.
background.
Do you know the
You know,
most, Uncle? Do you know the most denomination in Jamaica?
it's Pentecostal.
It's not actually. It's the SDA. That's why. So I keep trying to tell
They're
people
not so big. The SDA is not so big.
there's a lot of them in Jamaica. A
It's,
lot of them
There's loads of them, but not as many as Pentecostal.
as
You got over
Pentecostal.
you got over 2,000 Pentecostal churches in Jamaica.
but aren't there in Britain, aren't there Episcopalians running things out there? I mean, I don't.
No,
No,
in the black community, it's everybody has a Pentecostal church. Even right on the corner where I live, there's a few with 17 members in it that make loads of noise on a Sunday morning.
Oh wow, wow. Okay. Thank you for that, Asaph. I didn't know that.
But you know
Wow.
what though? But you know what though? I was raised Pentecostal, and I wasn't just raised
So,
Pentecostal. So it was kind of weird because I was raised Pentecostal,
so was I.
but I was also like raised AME, African Methodist Episcopal.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, a lot of AME has this information. So it's like, yeah, we knew that. Like I would hear this. I heard this from my brother. It's like, yeah, I already knew that we were Israelites. Uncle George said it. What?
Yeah.
But
You see
but
what I'm saying? Like it wasn't that big of a deal. And let me show you something that also blows my mind.
Yeah, my father told me, and I laughed him to scorn. You know, I, I wish I could apologize to him now, but he's past and gone. But he told me, we're Israelites, and I laughed him to scorn. But he was still locked up in the church.
So
But
they have.
our people knew who they were, But the thing is that the doctrines that we have and the belief systems we have was beaten into us so badly that we found it difficult to break free until this generation, and because of that, all hell's broken loose worldwide.
Oh
Mm,
yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I was saying earlier about this. I mean, you see, this information they thought was in a dungeon. Yah is the person who kept that our information, our history. He put that aside, and the history of the Gentiles as to what they was called themselves doing, and then how they say, "Oh, we were just grabbing Africans, no matter what." Now, history is showing, you went after a specific group of people, and you knew where they existed, where they lived, and how they pretty much got down. This is what they did.
Hey, Mike.
Now,
They weren't wasting time at all, because they got from
no,
as from South Africa, from West Africa, all the Bantu people that they could find, they captured.
Hey, let me
It
let me
was
let me let me
yeah,
explain this one to you all, because as Mike and I had traveled to Tanzania, we actually found out a lot of great information there on the ground regarding the Asian trans Asian slave trade. And one of the things, I had taken my son to his game with a friend of his who's from Kenya, and he said, our people, because I asked him, I said, what tribe? I said, who's your people? He said, we're Baluchi. And I said, Baluchi. And so I said, I've heard of the Baluchi, and you have to understand now. Shout out to Yakoba and the breakdown of what he did with Igbo language and things of that nature.
oh, that was awesome. That was awesome.
And so the
and
thing
I'm
is,
glad
I
he
said,
said,
so the thing is, when I had I said, I've heard of the Baluchi tribe, Mike. They're part of. They were the people. There are people taken in the trans-Saharan slave trade, the trans-Arabic slave trade. Because I'm like, yeah, you look just.
there was
I said you look just like us, yeah. And he said, our people, we really don't have an origin, right? And they are scattered. But see, a lot of those folks that were there, because when you had those port cities like Dar es Salaam and Zanzibar and Mombasa, they were there as slave trading posts. And if they weren't being sold off to go to other parts of South Asia and the East, then they were building up the ports to do what? To allow for commerce of slave trading. Those that then survived or stayed there, you see what I'm saying? They were known, and they adopted that tribe, right? Baluchi. Well, and then it really just means it's a derivative of, like the Most High's people, or the Most High's, for forsaken, something of that derivative. But it's interesting, because now if you know how people are named, then you get a clue of who they are and what they're about. And so, on that end, the religious context is, you know, he's a Sunni Muslim, right? But man, wood and stone, isn't that crazy? Wood and
that's what
stone.
I'm talking about.
Mm.
Hmm.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
But see,
Well, I'm gonna
don't
I'm
You
gonna
know,
give you
it's
all some final thoughts, because Mike knows that today I got to call the man, so they can give us our designation. I have to say hello.
AK.
How are you?
Well,
Oh,
I'll go
Friday,
first.
Dandy. Look, I have to eat some mayonnaise sandwiches and wear some duck shoes.
I'll go first with the final thoughts, and I'm going to direct this at Mike and Karis. Can y'all start a thing with the t-shirts, and you can name your price? I'll buy one. Called hashtag Not in This Together, so that we can know that we're only for each other. We don't care about the Eurocentric society, what's going over there in, you know, the pal, and is he real? You know, just about
Oh,
us.
you trying to get us? You trying to get somebody shot? You trying to get somebody shot? Think about that. If we did something like that, and now you got the world. They
Rojo wants to put targets on people. Here you go. We're gonna sell some T-shirts that puts a target straight on your back. There you go.
Hey, you already got a black figure when they going to those gun ranges. It's always a black figure, and they're always shooting at the heart. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or the head.
With the sunglasses and the skull cap.
Hey, what?
Looking like somebody out of Boys from the Hood.
Y'all just inspired me. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get some silk screen. I'm going to start my own Not in This Together live. And if I get shot into a rocket in outer space, just find me the nearest black hole, because if I'm 30, I'm gonna come back and take a lot of the Mayo people with me. So we're
All right. Thank
anyway.
you, Brother Rojo, for your Tales from the Hood inspired lesson that we got a great visual and imagery of. Where he's gonna find he's gonna give him all sorts of hypodermic needles.
Dirty Woods at that, brother. Dirty Woods.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There we go. Now this channel's about to get shut down. There we go. Well, family, if you want to Covenant Awakenings, you know, this channel's about to get shut down. So let me hurry up and give you my Zelle, Cash App, whatever. Because this is why I can't. This is you understand.
Did you kick Rojo off, or did he just leave because he didn't say goodbye?
I think Rojo just kicked himself off. You know.
Well, a minute he was there.
Rojo keeps sweating himself. He said something just ain't right. Oh, all right. Who's next?
I'll go, but I wanted to read something. I'm not going to be long because it's self-explanatory, but it's in my favorite book, which is Ecclesiasticus, and it's to go. It kind of ties into what we started with that actor, that troublesome actor that said what he's been saying.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Ecclesiasticus 12. It says, "Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? So one that goeth to a sinner, and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, he shall undermine thee. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance." I'm going to be very quick on this next one. Very, very quick, because I really wanted to, there's a lot that I wanted to think. But anyway, so it says, this is Ecclesiasticus 13. It says, "Press thou not upon him, lest thou be put back. Stand not far off, lest thou be forgotten. Affect not to be made equal unto him in talk, and believe not his many words. For with much communication will he tempt thee, and smiling upon thee will get out thy secrets. But cruelly he will lay up thy words, and will not spare to do thee hurt, and to put thee in prison. Observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing. When thou hearest these things, awake in thy sleep. Love Yahuwah all thy life, and call upon him for thy salvation. Every beast loveth like his. Let me read, drop down to verse 18. It says, what agreement is there between the hyena and a dog? That just put me in mind of what Jacoba brought out the other week. And what peace between, the hyenas, and what peace between the rich and the poor. As the wild donkey is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor. As the proud hate humility, so doth the rich abhor the poor. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust always by his friends. When a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. He speak wisely, and could have no place. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. Riches are good unto him that hath no sin, and poverty is evil in the mouth of the ungodly. The heart of a man changeth his countenance, whether it be for good or evil, and a merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance. A cheerful countenance is a token of a heart that is in prosperity, and the finding out of the parables is a wearisome labor of the mind. I needed to get that out because it says so much. We know that we are the poor. We know that we are the downtrodden. It says so much. It's self-explanatory. I really don't need to go into it, but that's Ecclesiasticus 11 verse, what did I start from? 12 down to verse 18, and Ecclesiasticus verse 10 all the way down to 26. I hope that that answer, well, that just basically says a lot about these people who, we can't trust them. We can't. That's just it, the gist of it.
It's getting hard. I mean, it is. I mean, you just gave out information. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, thank you, family. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I actually have to cut this short because I have to make some phone calls.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was trying to put that in the chat. I don't think you saw that in the private chat. That's okay. Thank you all for coming on, Brother Asif. Thank you, Brother Mike, Sister Chantel. It has been a pleasure. Thank you all. Most High willing, I'll be on tomorrow. I'm just going to give you a caveat. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to be on the road, so we'll see how this goes, and we'll continue our discussions. I think this is good to get our to let folks know what's going on and to bring that and back that up with scriptures. Hallelujah.
Man, when it's all boiled down, it's all about encouraging our brothers and sisters. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, for sure. But we can see who took crafty counsel against us. We got the receipts for that. And Absolutely. It matches up with scripture.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for having me on.
All right, thank you. Sorry to rush you all off, but I gotta get some stuff done. All right, well, shalom, family. So with that said, family, again, thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for supporting Quest Unite Africa. Most High willing, I will be back on tomorrow. And with that said, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom. Peace and blessings, Yasharel.
Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi, mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Karibuni sana.